What is going on, guys? This is Idle. Hope you guys are having a fantastic morning or afternoon wherever you're at. And today I'm actually bringing you guys a how to play video. These video series will basically break down every single meta deck and showing you how to play against the other top decks in the meta. I'm going to be explaining every single individual matchup and how you should play against them. I'm going to be talking about the general game plan, how to properly use each cards, and the combos. So as you guys can see on the screen here, today our first deck is going to be Mega Absol Hydreigon. Okay, so I'm sure you guys know how to pilot the deck properly already, but this is basically for people who don't really have a full understanding, or you guys might find out some combos that you didn't know, or maybe how to approach a certain matchup that you didn't know how to approach in the first place. So hopefully I can, help some people out who are kind of struggling. So let's get started here. General overrule, right? This is a pretty standard list here. I have the deck on the left, but so you guys can see here, this is a deck that's been top and consistent recently. The deck basically strategizes around playing a 1-1-3 prize game. So basically you're going to try to play your Hydreigon, then your other Hydreigon, then the Absol, or a baby Absol, then Hydreigon, and then Mega Absol. So that's typically what you want to be doing. Your Rocky helmet should always be attached to either the Hydreigon or the Absol, and if you draw your second one, then you could attach it to the Mega Absol. And then your copycat's going to be there to turbo out your pieces to get the Hydreigon active. That's the general game plan simplified. Now let's talk about the core piece of the deck, which is the Hydreigon, and then I'll get into some matchups here. Hydreigon can ramp energy to himself. Basically what this means is his attack requires 3. He ramps 2 by taking 30. So you don't need any energy on him on the bench. So if you have a benched one, you can focus your energy on attaching to either a Zweilous if you need a Zweilous to attack something, or the Mega Absol. Because when he comes up, you can use his ability and then attach one so you can start swinging for 130. When I start going into the matchups, you'll understand why this 130 number here is super important. Your Absol is primarily going to be going into anything that has energy attached to it or a Mega Pokemon, so you can pull it out with Cyrus. Pretty simple. And then your Mega Absol, you're mostly looking to pick off those Cyruses, because when you want to retreat it, or if you have something on the bench this week, you don't have to deal with Cyruses in the future. All right, so that covers the general game plan. So now let's break down each individual matchup. Let's first talk about Magnezone Oricorio here. It's a pretty common deck, and this version of Mega Absol was developed to beat Oricorios because Hydreigon absolutely demolishes it. So this is how you should play against it. You are going to want to use your baby Absol not to target the Oricorios, because there's literally no point. It's to always target the Magnemites. The Hydreigon can one-shot the Oricorios. Remember earlier when I was talking about the 130 mark being an important mark in pocket? It's because a lot of Pokemon are around 140. So Magnezone being one of them, what's going to help get your kill is a ping from the baby Absol to drop this down to 110. And then the Hydreigon can come in and kill it in one hit. Also in this deck that's pretty common is 2 Giant Capes. So they play 2 to bring the Magnezone up to 160. So the Magnezone doesn't get one shot by Mega Blazikens. So if you ping with the Mega Absol, even with a cape on, they go down to 130. And Hydreigon hits for 130. So it's pretty cool. It still allows you to get the one hit on the Magnezone, which is super important. I see a lot of times people use the baby Absol to always target the Oricorios when you never have to. So if you're also having issues with the Chingling that this deck plays, the general game plan is attach your Rocky helmet to your active. So this way you're not too worried about not being able to rare candy. And then you're going to use either your Dino or your Zweilous to take care of it. You're never going to bring in your Mega Absol to take care of this Chingling. Because if your Mega Absol sees at least any kind of chip, it's going to get harassed from all these other Pokemon. So you never want to use your Mega Absol really in this matchup. Try to always prioritize your Hydreigons. And then your last case scenario is your Mega Absol. And you're only obviously can use that against the Chingling or the Magnezones. But always save a Hydreigon to deal with the Oricorios, because what a Magnezone player is typically going to do is try to bait you into using your Hydreigons into multiple Magna Zones. And then once they deal with your Hydreigons, you have nothing to kill the Oricorios because your Absol can't. So save a Hydreigon in the back, or if you knock out both Oricorios, then you're safe to bring in the Mega Absol. Alright guys, let's go into our next deck here. The most feared, the most popular, terrorizing the meta, Suicune Greninja. Before we start this one, if you guys aren't already, and you guys do want more content like this, and you guys enjoy my other content if you guys have been checking it out, drop that sub for me. It takes 1 second here. You'll get very informative videos, hopefully fun content that you guys enjoy. And if you're not a member of our Discord, go ahead and join the Discord. I do giveaways all the time. Already gave away a full art Cyrus. We're doing a bunch of other giveaways. Just had a Thanksgiving one, and we have a full art Oak going on as well. All right, so Suicune Greninja. You are definitely going to see this in tournaments. You're going to see it against the ladder. You're going to probably run into this deck multiple times a day, so it's important you know how to play against this matchup. Your baby Absol should always target things that have energy. I see sometimes people will target a Suicune that has no energy on it, which there's really no point because one, they can just attach an energy and Irida, and two, that even if you somehow find a way to pull it out, then you still have to deal with the Suicune that has the energy and a ping from Greninja, and that's enough to one-shot your Hydreigon. So you want to always deal with the threats as soon as possible. So baby Absol into a bench Suicune that has energy or a Greninja. It could be either Greninjas. If they have energy attached to the Greninja EX, you can go ahead and do that. Or if they don't and they have the baby Greninja, it is very important you target the baby Greninja because it will put you in range. And what they're going to do is they're going to be trying to ping your Mega Absol on the bench with this baby Greninja so they can pull it out with Cyrus. So that brings me to my next point. Do not put your Mega Absol on the bench if a baby Greninja is out or they set the Froakie up and you can't deal with the Froakie right away. Also, because if you're attaching to your Hydreigon anyways every single turn, there's no point of even having the Absol on the bench. So you don't want to get your Absol Cyrus because they do play 2 copies in this deck, and having that basically means you're going to lose the game because they'll Cyrus you once and Cyrus you again. They get through their cards pretty fast because of the Suicune. But once you deal with one Suicune, all you have to do is deal with the baby Greninja and you're fine. The Hydreigon can one-shot the baby Greninja, and if you played everything correctly and you pinged the Suicune with the Absol, and then you attacked it with the Hydreigon, you're fine. Or if you had a Rocky Helmet on your first Hydreigon, they attacked with Suicune, drop down to 120, then you can bring in your second Hydreigon and kill the Suicune without a problem. Now, when you're using your Mega Absol, obviously you're prioritizing the Cyruses in the deck. Your second priority should be the Irida, because it can take you out of range on a lot of knockouts, especially when it comes to the Rocky Helmet chip. So typically with a Rocky Helmet chip, it'll take 2 Mega Absol hits and a Rocky Helmet chip to kill a Greninja EX. But if they have an Irida, it turns it into 3 hits with Mega Absol, and you can lose games like that pretty often. I see that happen actually quite a bit. So if you can knock the Irida out if they don't have any Cyruses, you don't really need to worry about Mars unless Mars is the only option. And if you haven't used your swap cards yet and you're like, oh man, I might lose my swap card, then you can prioritize a Mars. But if you see something on your bench like the Mega Absol have a ping on it from a baby Greninja, you already know they're planning to Cyrus you and hit you for basically 100 damage plus. Get rid of their Cyruses as soon as you can. All right, deck number 3. Probably tied for most popular deck, or it's close to Suicune Greninja, but it's Mega Altaria. You're also going to see this everywhere. This is probably going to be another 40% of your games during the day, or if you're in a tournament run, you'll definitely see at least 3 of these in your matches. The general game plan with the baby Absol start is to ping the Swablues. You want to get rid of this Mega Altaria as soon as possible. You want to put this Mega Altaria in range. If you can drop this down with 2 pings to 130, it's in perfect range for the Hydreigon to get the knockout on it. And they're going to get tired and impatient, and they'll be forced to bring it up because they don't want to deal with your baby Absol anymore. That typically is what happens. The Swablues will get knocked out in 2 hits. So you don't need to worry about that. Everything else is a distraction here. You don't need to worry about any of these things. The only time I'd say to change your game plan is if they had an Indeedee stuck in an active and you killed the Indeedee with the Hydreigon. Then you can use the baby Absol to force a KO on a Jirachi or a Chingling for game. But if that's not happening, I would never say go for this. This is just a distraction. Get your pings on the Mega Altaria and you'll be good to go. Now, I repeat, do not put anything on the bench. And by anything, I mean a Mega Absol, because as soon as they ping you, they're going to Cyrus you up. Keep your Hydreigons on the bench. That's fine. When you're ready to knock out this Jirachi or swing with the Hydreigon, then you can put the Absol on the bench and attach an energy to get going with it. But typically Mega Altaria players, once they see a Hydreigon out, they're going to be forced to bring in the Altaria because they're going to feel threatened. They realize they can't do anything here. Everything's going to get knocked out. So that's when they're going to counterplay and bring in the Mega Altaria. So you're going to be baiting them with the Hydreigon to bring this in, and then you could bench the Mega Absol. If they start Chingling, which they typically will do because they'll have it in the hand or they'll play Lizia and draw it, what you're going to want to do is have a Dino in active or a Azuelas and just pick it off. Never deal with the Chingling, and I mentioned this before. Don't deal with the Chingling with the Mega Absol. You lost the game as soon as you do that. Because now you got 10 points a chip, they can Cyrus you, and then once they Cyrus you, it's pretty much game. So even if you have to sit there, attached to a Zweilous, and wait to attack a turn, is perfectly fine. If you Zweilous them and they bring in the Mega Altaria, you can just focus everything on the Hydreigon that's going to be on the bench. That's where you can put your rare candy towards. This Zweilous also deals with the Jirachi in one hit as well. So they have no other option but to bring in the Mega Altaria at this point. All right, next we do have our Mega Blaziken matchup. So you're going to treat this kind of like your Mega Altaria matchups. You want to deal with the Torchics as soon as you can. You're going to ping them with the Baby Absol. If you have a Hydreigon out, you could just rush the Hydreigon, attack the Heat more. It's perfectly fine. And you can just wait it out until you get your Mega Absol going with another Hydreigon. You also do want to avoid putting your Absol on the bench when a Heat more is out, because a Heat more ping plus a Mega Blaziken kick is a one-shot KO on the Mega Absol for game. So no matter what, never put that Absol on the bench if you see a Heat more out. But Hydreigon is enough to threaten both the Heat more and the Mega Blaziken. Because once you swing for 130, that puts the Blaziken at exactly 80 HP. And then Mega Absol could come in and get the knockout. So it's perfect math. So as long as you have one going, you're perfectly fine. So that's why if you ping the Torchic with the Baby Absol, you Cyrus in it, they're going to be forced to evolve it, because they don't want the Torchic to die with another Baby Absol hit. So what you're going to do at that point is, because they're going to be forced to evolve, then you can Cyrus in the Mega Blaziken, swing for 130. He's going to be forced to knock out your Hydreigon, and then you can return kill it with either your other Hydreigon or the Mega Absol for game. This is a pretty easy matchup for you. And then your last matchup. So I'm counting this as the mirror match or any other Mega Absol deck, whether it plays Darkrai or just a pure Absol variant, whatever it may be. Your main strategy here is just to focus everything on this Mega Absol. So your Baby Absol is just going to ping this. They play no heal, they play no PCL. So you're going to ping it, and then you're going to Cyrus it out and hit it with Hydreigon. That's all you're going to do. And you're just going to repeat the process. You're going to ignore everything. You're going to ignore their Hydreigons. You're going to ignore their Baby Absols. Your entire focus is going to be against this. And the reason the people typically lose this matchup is they're using their attacks. They're pinging a Dino on the bench when they don't have to, when they can just be putting the chip on this, because once you kill this, you win the game. Another thing to note is whoever brings in their Hydreigon second for the return KO is gonna win. And this is what I mean by that. Let's say they have a Baby Absol out and you have a Baby Absol out. If they bring in their Hydreigon, KO your Baby Absol, and you bring in your Hydreigon and kill their Hydreigon in one hit because it's only at 130, then they have nothing. they're forced to bring in their Mega Absol at that point, or dig in their deck and look for a Hydreigon, but it's so early in the game that they won't have it. And at this point, your Hydreigon is at 130 because you only use 120 because you only use the ability once. So even if they bring in a Mega Absol, you do survive one hit, and you can hit it again for 130. Especially if you have a Rocky Helmet, it'll put them in a really bad spot. So always try to bring in your Hydreigon second, bait them to bring in theirs first. There's a slight asterisk on this. If you are able to pull out a second Hydreigon right away, you can aggress first, because then you'll automatically win that trade. Because you can go Hydreigon, kill their baby Absol, they'll bring in their Hydreigon, kill yours, and then you bring in your Hydreigon, kill theirs. And it's always unlikely for them to have a second Hydreigon right away, but if you for some reason have two, you can be the first aggressor. But if you're playing on the sense that you only can make one and they can only make one, then you always want to aim to bring yours in second, and you'll guarantee win that match from basically turn 2 or turn 3. It's going to be decided. But yeah, guys, that's basically it. If you guys found this informative, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a subscribe down there for me. I'll make more of these in the future, covering every single matchups with all the other decks in the meta, especially coming in the future. I think it's really important because at the end of the day, if you guys can become better, it makes the game more fun, right? So this is Idle signing out. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.